Okay, I'm going to start this out with an exact quote from Miles Luna, specifically regarding this volume. There is a dangerous thing that happens when people have enough time to speculate and form their own opinion. And then they get locked onto an idea that the community has had, and they really like that. And when the show doesn't do that, people get really upset. Or they turn into absolute crybabies. I used to really like this fandom, and I still do. But there's days like today where I wish the show just gets canceled, so all of you would shut the hell up, to be perfectly honest. You do not make canonical decisions. People at Rooster Teeth do. You do not know what Monty wanted. The people that worked with him did. Crow and all of this is stupid. Nowhere on the entire show has Clover or Robin or anyone else that's been getting these so-called harassment that the show has been giving them been confirmed as gay or lesbian. The only thing that has been shown is a strong connection between two characters, and then when it gets shut down, the entire place turns into, well, they wouldn't have shown them having a friendship if they weren't blah, blah, blah. Guess what? I like shipping as much as the next person. I'm about one of the most people on the planet that wants Bumblebee to happen more than anybody else. But you know what? Who's not going to be wanting to burn down Rooster Teeth if it doesn't happen? Me. Because you know who doesn't write the show? I don't. You don't. They do. This crap is getting ridiculous that you need to write hate mail to creators because a thing that is canon in your head that goes on the show and it's not canon on there, you get upset and then bitch at them because according to you, it's canon. This goes back to the whole people are badgering people because they don't believe that Nora is trans because in the beginning of the show, she had the same color scheme she's got now. She just didn't for volumes 4 through 6. Magically, she got blue back in her costume. That means she's trans. And if you say otherwise, you're a freaking idiot and I deserve to bash you for it. That is stupid. You are incorrect. You can say those things if you want to, but you cannot badger other people like you have a fact. You don't. It has gotten so stupid to the point of where the scene where Clover dies, spoiler alert, we're going to talk about it, people are color changing the background to color correct it to make it look like a gay pride flag to try and slander Rooster Teeth to saying they're purposely burying canonically gay characters. This is stupid. It needs to stop. Ship on a show if you want to. Enjoy it. Have conversations. But for the love of God, you don't run the show. You don't decide what happens in it. And if you don't like it, stop watching it. Don't badger the people that still try to enjoy it because they can look past a plot idea they don't like. If you want to point out a clerical mistake or something that was literally actually factually bad or not well thought out, like we're probably going to get into, I know there's one thing I'm going to talk about that they, in order to have a scene, they needed to literally forget could happen. It needs to stop. Good God, it needs to stop. Everything Rooster Teeth ever does is wrong, even though they have not done a thing wrong other than not do what you want them to do. Stop this crap, please. I'm so sick and tired of it. All our admins have to hear about it every day and to talk to us like we're these fictional characters that they represent when we're just trying to have fun with this show and then we get badgered about it almost as much as the creators do. It gets that bad. Love of God, please stop. Angry Dad rant over. We had a new episode of Ruby this week, and some crap went down in large chunks. Ugh. Okay, so moving on from that, Summer, go ahead.
Okay, so my highlights. Penny can be petty. She had some really good moments, guys.
My favorite character this season.
Right? He's just been such a good character so far. Oscar got to punch Neo, and that was a great moment. Crow also punches people, and he breaks auras. You know what else broke? My freaking heart! I got over that. So sad. Also, Adam Chai is really mean. I didn't watch the episode yet when he tagged me in our group spoiler chat for the page. And I was like, oh, ha, ha, ha. I wonder if this has something to do with my glasses, dude. I watched the episode and I'm just dying inside after that.
For everyone who gets the context of this, normally us three are pretty on time to see the episode. I'm normally a little late because I work on Saturdays and my lunch comes at 11 or noon on Saturdays, and the show my time comes at 10. So I'm like, Summer's seen it, and I was really nice. I just said, cue admin Summer crying in the distance, and then she just puts LOL underneath it, and I'm like, she's responding really good to this. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, she hasn't seen it yet. Oh, no.
I think like, what, 10 minutes after is I just flooded our chat with my crying emotions and all my feelings. I am so sad about Clover being dead. But on the bright side, I guess I finally have a fan fiction idea. And it's definitely an AU, and it's definitely about Clover and Crow working in a bar owned by James.
I want
it.
I did see a great picture, and I wish I would have got it. It was it's from one of the Pirates of the Caribbeans. I have not seen all of them, so I can't tell you which. But it's Jack Sparrow jumping over a railing with somebody else, and it's like, "Don't worry, we're taking over the ship now." And it says all fan fiction writers on the top of it. So I thought that was pretty funny. All right, you got Summer?
No, never.
No.
We can go next.
Go ahead.
So I guess both of us need our emotional support birds.
Mm-hmm.
But Penny, my God, actually stood her ground. That was shocking.
A girl.
Straight up all the fight scenes with the Aesops. That was like awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And it answered your question about how they were going to handle the fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And then
So good.
and then obviously I'm just as heartbroken as Summer is. I actually cried, and my boss walked by and was like, "Why are you crying?" And I'm like, "Don't ask. Don't ask. Go away."
All right. So we're going to bring. I'm being very careful with comments because of the 4-minute rant that I had earlier. So one that does deserve to be brought up because it is something we're going to need to talk about.
Yes, very true.
Okay, so this is really being talked about. Is Crow gonna relapse? And me, I just want him to like think about it, and then there's like a faded image of Clover, and he's just like, no.
Stop.
And then I'm just gonna cry some more that day.
No.
Okay. I'm just going to paraphrase it. It was something that was sent into our spoiler chat that was really good. And if they meant to do this metaphorically, boy, were they on point. Crow literally fought a former version of himself with Ozpin in this episode. Blind following orders. You're not going to say no because no matter what Ozpin / James Ironwood says, it's correct because I followed him my whole life. He's literally like calling himself an idiot for 4 minutes straight. Just stop. Why do you think I am the way I am now? Because you're being the old stupid me. That's pretty much what it was. And I'm so glad they brought back the discoloration thing that they did with Yang's arm.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie, that is my screensaver at the moment.
Oh.
It hurts to see every time.
Wow, that's
so
powerful.
good.
Like, getting to that, I don't mean to be mean to said animator, but if that is what made them throw up from tension, I will get. But they got a weak resolve if that was gross and that's what made them throw up. Because to me, Ruby's animation, unless you're like ripping a person's organ out, the way they're animated, it's really hard to make something look gross. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Did see it. That was the most blood I've seen come out of someone in Ruby, though. Gonna be honest.
It's like the most blood I've ever seen in this entire show.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say this might be the bloodiest death we've seen, but it's not the worst anime death I've seen. I mean, there's
like there was no blood with Yang's arm.
There's some crazy shows out there.
No, they had like the one that had the closest to that was Adams, and all they had was like a slight tinge on his jacket. The same with Weiss. They didn't even have it on the ground, but the animation's getting better so they could show people getting slaughtered. Another thing I wish I would have gotten a screenshot of, and we'll get to our pictures in a second. Someone had a monologue from, it was either the Disney Pinocchio or one of the old Pinocchios, and I swear someone took it off Tumblr, but it was them talking about what actually made Pinocchio human. and it's what made me so happy Penny came back. She, in my opinion, outside of Watts, has had the best character development in a single season for any character on this show, period. Oh my boy, it was so good. Just the whole, she never gave up her resolve the whole way through. And then there was something like what made Pinocchio human, not because he was granted a body, is what he finally felt human emotion. And then the whole, it makes me like, I don't know exactly what you said, human feelings, or like, I can't remember exactly. It was something feelings. And I'm like, she's more human than pretty much the entire Atlas team right now. That's ridiculous. They did so good with her with nothing. Just simple writing. They've gotten so much better at simple, just basic writing. And now we're going to get into some pictures, because speaking of, I'll leave that there for a second while I'm getting to it.
That's why I say that one Clover picture I actually made. I haven't done a picture edit for Ruby in so long, and it took someone dying for me to do it.
And I know you're,
I cried.
And I know you're good at Photoshop because you just helped me with one of my crack jokes earlier. All right. That, going back to what I was just talking about. My lord.
This was honestly a really good.
He's so adorable. And it's exact callback to her and Ruby in Volume 2. Like the exact angle and everything.
Yeah.
So good. Going back right here. What was the quote? It gives me personal feelings. Thank you very much. That's what it was. Oh, I'm so ready for that. Another closed door fight that is probably going to be awesome. Someone brought up, we'll get into theories later, how that fight's going to end. But let's see here.
Dude, there's like this whole chart on Tumblr on the end results of that fight.
Dude, Yang.
Let's talk about, this made me think about something. They literally got to the points of where they're acting smart. Here, Elm was using her semblance really smart to get leverage and hit people. What does Yang do? Breaks the entire floor apart so she can't use her semblance to gain leverage. And it was just, I wish this thing could show gifts. I really did. Because that whole flippy-doo shooting the rock up with the freaking rockets and then phasing them out and then shoving them in Vine's face, I was like, what's going on? I had to watch it like 3 times. I was like,
the Beast fight was really good with like the new things that they can do. Also, the yin and yang thing was great.
Yes.
Oh.
Yin yang, love it.
Also,
like even the way they're moving and what they're doing in this fight fits so well with the whole yin yang thing. I wish I could find the Tumblr post that really explained that, but it was really worded out very good.
Just simple animation. Look at Yang's hair now. Look at that.
Also, her eyes are like more orange.
Yes, it looks awesome.
She doesn't take my eyes anymore.
And just, that's a screen. That is the background if I've ever seen it.
That's a beautiful background.
And everyone was getting really mad because they didn't have any White Rose moments that were really cool.
There was a White Rose moment.
I know. We got one.
We actually got a bit. The thing about Weiss and Ruby, though, they're a little more independent.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like a good thing. That's the whole thing about these two partnerships. You have two characters who are strongly independent and can work on their own, but work even better when they're together. Yes. You got two characters who can work alone, but work better together, which is Yang and Blake.
Exactly. And then, to get to your edit before I forget. Look at that. Look at the animation.
Dude, that's me.
By the way.
So Crow.
I think for Crow was like the animation on his face in this whole scene. Again, I wish we could have GIFs because I have a good GIF of his like eyes widening and then him slowly breaking down to cry and scream. Mm-hmm. There was so much emotion in that face.
And it's like, this is going to make people mad, and I don't care. I've forgotten that Vic Mignogna's Crow even exists.
Yeah.
It's gone. Good Lord, it's gone. Jason has done so good.
But he does so good with the emotional stuff, and like this whole scene probably really shows his voice acting skills with Crow the best.
Oh yeah.
All those cracks in his voice that pitch in the voice when he starts to cry. I was like, oh my gosh, he did a little. I was like, that's so good. That bit of anger, even. Yes.
Yeah.
Our favorite is here.
Clover-shaped heart hole in my heart forever.
You mean the liver-shaped hole in your heart?
That too.
Also, something we thought was going to happen, and it kind of did. Before I get to the one shot that we need to show before we leave, can I just add how Tyrion is my favorite villain now?
No. I didn't see the hat.
Look at this. Look at this stupid idiot. Look at him.
Okay,
dude, that's
breaking his thumb and like just being full of joy while he's doing it, though. Can we talk about that moment? Because that freaked me out.
Yeah, like it's a classic technique they show in movies, how people get out of handcuffs where they pop their thumb out of the socket. And like he was just so happy in all this that he was just, oh, we have a score to settle. What do you say we put the kid to bed first and then we go deal with that? I'm like,
that was just the craziest thing, actually seeing Crover. Damn it. Tyrion and Crow fighting Clover. And it's like, I'm just confused, be like, okay, are they working together to fight him, or are they fighting each other in...
And before this gets in dangerous territory, someone explained this on Tumblr really well. I won't be able to because it was a freaking 14-mile long post, but it pretty much came down to Crow has got a person that used to be a friend and is now trying to arrest him and is going to no matter what. So he has to dispose of him, doesn't want to kill him, but has to get rid of him. Knows that Clover's a really good fighter, and that's going to be close to take him on his own. And then he's got Tyrion. So, and you've openly seen that Clover was not going to let him fight Tyrion. He stopped him twice. So the person who was the stupid factor in it for both of them was Clover. That's essentially
very good.
And yeah, and it's like, also, can I add that for the first time in the show, you actually got to see Clover use his horseshoe?
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So
that was weird. Also, just before I forget these pictures here, when they get caught by their parents, when Pietro and
they literally look like they're like, shit, we gotta hide the bodies.
That, and get through the pictures here.
It's like, Oscar, you know her?
Yeah. Also, Oscar did not punch her. Oscar haymakered her head clean off.
Yes, like straight up cut out her semblance.
Oh, yeah. I just want to point out, because I forgot to bring it up when we talked about Crow's voice in line and all that. Oscar's yell was pretty emotional as well.
No!
That was a deep, painful no.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, no, get away from them.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't care that he was all beat up and hurt. He did not want Neo anywhere near the rest of them.
But his training paid off.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And again, until I get proven wrong, this is the first time she's ever been called Neapolitan, correct?
I'm pretty sure it is.
I haven't seen it.
I saw a post on, I think, Tumblr or Twitter. I don't know. I've been back and forth all day, guys. I've been mourning. Someone said that it was written on a news report once, and I was like, okay, that's slightly different, but...
Was it that news report in the beginning of Volume 6 when Cinder's in that village, maybe?
I was going to say, is that what they're referring to?
That could be.
It's been a while since I rewatched some of the older episodes, not since last season was about to start.
And the last picture.
No!
They have not done this since Yang with her arm. This is really powerful and really simple.
You're going to make us cry, Ty.
All right, I'm turning the pictures off. I had to show that one. Turning the pictures off. Don't worry. I know.
I'm actually crying.
I know. Trust me, I know. This is how I get every time someone Pyrrha comes up. And I've been doing video editing, and I've been bawling my eyes out. My roommate is worried about me.
And yes, everyone, Raven has feelings.
This, but Clover dying hurts me more than Pyrrha died. And it's not just because of shipping. I swear. I legitimately did just like Clover.
He's a great character. He really is.
He's a really good character.
He was well written for what he needed to be.
I'm a little disappointed in him because, you know, his card says that he'd do anything for the people. But I was like, at the same time, like you were bringing up earlier, and I've mentioned it twice in our chat, it is a really good little connection between him and Crow. He blindly is following James. I think it was Salem pointed this out. I can't remember who made the post that she talked about though, where when he gets stabbed, his back is literally to Mantle though, and it's like this just drives that whole idea more. Not only is he blind, he's turning his back against his main thing. He wants to protect people, and it got him killed. That's exactly what was going with Crow. He blindly followed Ozpin. That's
Thank
why
God.
he took it so hard when he found out the truth.
He United States have smashed him clean into a tree, and now
My hero.
I know. And now we never get to see that moment with Clover with James. You're going to get to see it with Crow for Clover to James. If Crow gets his hands on James, you want to talk about a beating?
Oh, he's gonna.
It's going to be bad.
James will need a robot arm.
Said someone needs to take the fall for this. James is gonna take the fall for this. Crow's not happy.
No.
Crow's not happy. James is going nuts at the moment. We're gonna have some fists. Not even words. They're just gonna have some fists.
There's gonna be some issues. There's gonna be a lot of issues. All right, getting into the meat and potatoes here.
Oh yeah, because we're not already in there.
We're getting there. I had two teeny tiny problems, and one will only be a problem if it gets to it, because I was mad about it in an earlier episode, and if it turns into this, I'll be really upset. Minor one. Meryl forgot he had a semblance until he needed to remember he had a semblance. But whatever. They could have fixed it. Whatever. We still got cool fights. They had a moment where they're like, he had trouble concentrating. And I guess that's based off of his Aesop's fable, where it's a dog in his reflection and he can't concentrate. So they got to it eventually. I just wish they would have had a different way for them to get out of that room. That's it. That was fine. Now, at this current moment, we have Crow being... Yes. We have Crow being framed for murder.
Yeah.
Because a ship was flying over. The ship went clear over their heads.
So these are all three bodies.
Yeah, like, if he didn't see him, they weren't paying that much attention. And then when it circles back, if Crow runs and they figure out that Clover died from Crow because of the wound on him from his weapon, I'm legit gonna lose it, because they had the technology to figure it out for that, but they didn't have the technology to figure out that Penny's weapons didn't kill all those people at that party, and a weapon that big actually did. So I'm hoping that if they do accuse him of murder, they literally see him in the snow holding his body, because otherwise that's a big canonical error.
Right, I was like, this is like the last thing I want. They're already under arrest. You really gotta be like, oh, by the way, Crow's getting framed for murder at the same time while he's crying and holding this man in his arms.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's bringing up, Robin's there. She can use her semblance.
That was one.
There it is, yes.
This all happened, as much as I love her.
But she doesn't need to know what happened. Her arm does. Her arm's going to know if he's lying or not. Just saying. That's the one way they can get out of it. That's a good question. We haven't seen him transform to a crow a whole lot this volume, if he has.
Well,
Has he?
I don't think he has.
A crow.
It's okay, Summer. I haven't
No,
seen it.
he never turned this season.
No, he didn't. I heard someone bring up it's not going to happen. It really isn't going to happen. Someone brought up that it's like Raven can feel distress with her kindred links.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up when we talked about crackpot theories.
And someone thinks that she's going to come help Crow. I'm like, maybe if we would have found out what she's doing outside of watching Ty plant some flowers, I would believe that.
I must know.
You want to know the only thing I'll accept? I'll accept Ty somehow forcing her to open a portal so he could go give Crow a freaking hug because this man is hurting.
That I
But
could see.
Ty would not do that. They hate each other. Do we not remember the end of Volume 3?
I don't think they hate each other.
I think he hates the fact that Crow is butting in when he had a moment just to pry information out of Ruby.
I was gonna say, honestly, I think a lot of stuff between Ty and Crow is Ty chose to stay away from the Ozpin stuff. Crow didn't.
And that's how Summer died. And there goes Ty. So it'll just be us.
We lost the host. I mean, I'm co-host.
It's okay. We can hold this. We can do this, Summer. Well, you can do this.
I'm just gonna cry though.
Well,
literally one of my notes is just Clover with a broken heart under it.
That sounds like you, and it sounds like me. So while we're trying to figure out how,
Oh look, hold on. Let me hold my note up again.
Okay.
Yeah, hold your note. Please show it to Ty. He needs to see this Ty.
Oh, don't worry. I still saw it. The thing that I was getting at was, I think that the main part of why he was mad was he was trying to have a tender moment to see if his daughter was okay. And Crow was trying to just get information out of her when she literally just woke up from what I'm going to assume was a coma.
So that's like pure dad protective mode when he's walking past him.
Yeah. But
again, I don't think they hate each other. They were teammates and all that, but
I think it's a brothers type of thing.
I was gonna say, I would take this as a more hurt family type deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, what else we're getting? Man, what else?
Where do you think Crow learned his hand-to-hand combat?
That's a good question. I still don't know. Speaking, before I forget, I was going to say, we do not know what Ty's weapon is. You want to know who else's weapon we still don't know? Vines, because he still hasn't used it!
I was waiting for you to bring this up. I was going to wait until the very last second if you didn't say anything.
I need to know what Ty's weapon is.
Hell? Don't show a weapon on his back all volume if you're never going to have him use it!
How do you think I feel? I still don't know. I cosplay Tai Yang, and I don't know his weapon, and I need to know. And I've been waiting forever.
It's his pants and charm. Karen told you.
It's his pants.
Oh no, where did Tai Yang go? He's gone. Don't worry about it.
It's true. Carrie did tell me it was his dad-like charm.
So there's a really heartbreaking post on Tumblr with all the lyrics from Bad Luck Charm, and they're just putting all the fight scenes there.
Yeah.
And I can't
want to see that
anymore
again
now, guys.
There was also a really good one with side-by-side shots of Volume 3 in this volume.
Oh my god. Yeah, with all the connections. You've got the Yang losing her arm with Clover getting stabbed.
Vine's hands are his weapon. Also that giant chakram thing that's sitting on his back that he refuses to use.
DSR anchor. What? I got lost.
Oh, I know. His earlier thing, his side note with him feels like he loses anybody he gets closest to.
Because all the huntsmen on his list, Summer,
Summer,
no Clover.
In the episode, what else we need to get at? How? Okay, we really didn't talk about it all that much. We need to get more into it. They're getting more creative in these fight scenes. I didn't want to let go of this. That's not because I love Harriet. Harriet did a Hurricane Rana because her arms were tied behind her back. She was fighting Ruby with no arms.
I noticed that.
Okay, that was honestly really cool. And again, it was a little funny to see her smack in the ice, but I think that just kind of shows again this difference between fighting styles and all that. Mm-hmm. In that she knows that if her hands are tied behind her back, she can still fight.
Yep. Don't know when to give up. That's literally the entire problem with the Aesops. They don't know when to give up. And they don't understand when one of them starts flaking a little because they started giving each other crap for not going hard enough. And then the whole giving it back to him, like, don't worry, they're just following orders. And Elm gets pissed off, like, what do you mean I can't think for myself? And it's just like they were throwing them off their game because they were being cocky and showing how stupid they were being.
No, I agree with that. And I kind of agree on that when it comes to Marrow as well. He really didn't seem to want to fight at all.
No, and he was literally just then he started cracking a little where he's just like, why are you doing this? And you're entitled. He started getting a little bit of the faunus stuff in there. And Weiss finally just getting to saying, this is my freaking home. Y'all are going to shut up.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a really good moment for Weiss, though, considering she's always going to have to deal with the fact that, yeah, my last name is Schnee and my family sucks.
And also, before I forget, put it on the freaking sign. It took 7 years, but Weiss won a one-on-one fight. It took so long, but our girl did it. She's no longer the glass cannon of that group. She did something. But and like the fact that oh man, a lot of people are saying that Pietro is gonna die now.
No.
Oh, also, Larry's freaking back, guys.
What? Oh yeah, both of them are back. Excuse me.
At least I'm happy, Ray or Summer. You got your character back.
No, I'm never gonna be happy again.
She's never going to see Glasses drunk for the rest of this volume or the rest of the time. I know it. She's going to be so
2
mad.
episodes and we haven't seen him.
Look, they killed Forrest because they were preparing me for Clover to die. I wasn't prepared.
It's almost like people associated with green don't do too well for you.
That's exactly what I keep thinking about.
So she's like, the blue guy, he's going to make it.
Hey, Caboose made it.
Save Clover.
Okay. Other stuff that happened in this volume, obviously, for plot convenience, they were taking their dear sweet time getting plugged into the machine.
Yeah, and they had Pierre like plugged into the machine in like seconds.
Okay.
Yeah, but we're talking about an older woman. It probably takes a while to get the other person set up in the pod.
Just have Penny carrier.
True. We're going to get back to that. But this is something I also need to discuss because I had a very lengthy conversation with our admin, Crow, about how Ruby does certain things. I get this, and I get that happened in The Wizard of Oz. But, correct me if I'm wrong, in The Wizard of Oz, the Cowardly Lion didn't sell out the rest of his friends to the Wicked Witch of the West and then try and beg for his life and get torn away by a tentacle monster. Also...
Oh, wait. What version were you watching? Because that happened my version.
Well, I got that one from Hentai Haven. We don't need to talk about that. And the Tin Man didn't go nuts, declare martial law, and then try dropping a city on some people. I'm just saying they're very, very, very... very loosely based on the characters from the show, from the Fables.
You mean Ruby's not going to be taking cookies to her grandma and get hunted down by a wolf?
Probably not.
If we see Grandma Yang, we're going to be loving this.
There is that one old woman from the comics that helped Yang, so it might be her. I don't know. But,
wait. Never mind, I'm going to stop. Tell him cook, you guys.
Well, maybe we'll meet Grandma who gave Ty the blender. Ruby Chubby, sorry. Ruby Chubby.
Wow. Okay, got it.
Okay. That's what I'm talking about.
I was so lost. I can't believe I said Hentai Haven live on the stream.
We don't know what Ty does in his free time, by the way.
We do. He doesn't plant flowers.
It's a good thing you can't see the DVD rack right here.
There's like 20 DVDs of just hentai.
This is getting off the rails fast. Let's get back on track. So
you remember last week?
Yeah. So we went over the fights. All that's done. They're just lying on the floor in that room. I doubt they're going to lock them up. They're just going to leave. So what we got left with before we get in the crackpots are cliffhangers of the week, which I need to address again. Everyone was freaking out on every form of social media where they're like, you guys, they said there's going to be a cliffhanger in one of these upcoming episodes. Every episode for 3 years has ended in a cliffhanger. Calm down when they give you this much stuff. Calm down. But
keep your pants on.
From the sounds of it, Yang and Blake are going to go are going to go find Orange or Juniper in Co, however you want to call it. Weiss and Ruby are going after, was it Penny and Winter, or are they going after James? Because they said some stuff.
Weiss
No, they didn't even say, they didn't say anything. Going after her sister, and then they said the whole, they said our scrolls don't work after Yang said her thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're all trying to figure out what to do. That's when Maria and Pietro came in, and that's probably when wonderful Maria is gonna come up with, okay, you idiots, here, this is what we need to do. Also,
because she did say this is when they asked us for help.
Yeah. But and then we've got the scene where it's going to lead into the fight scene with Penny and Winter, and we don't know where James went, but he got there real fast because when they busted out that door, he wasn't in a hallway anywhere. So he went that way, and Maria and Pietro came in the other hallway, and they went straight down the hallway. But he likely will. That I agree with. But all right, crackpot theories. This was not so much a crackpot theory, but people are thinking, or I say a person is thinking, and then a lot of people on Tumblr commented on it, that the fight is going to happen between Winter and Penny, and somehow they're going to get her out because the Winter Maiden is going to cheap shot Cinder from behind because Cinder does not think that the Winter Maiden is going to cause her any problems.
Yeah.
Again, there's this whole chart on Tumblr about how this fight's gonna go.
I don't doubt it. Crow likely going to get up to Atlas, flying, or however he does it. I doubt he's just going to sit there and let himself be arrested.
I have a feeling he's going to carry Clover back in his arms.
To Atlas?
You never know. You hate.
There are
things that lift cars off of people. You don't know what emotions can do.
We are not going to. How far are you in Devil May Cry 5?
I finished the game.
We are not going to see. We're not going to see the scene with Griffin carrying Nero away in his talons, with Raven with a little crow carrying Clover up to Atlas.
I pay to see it. Though.
That attitude, we're not.
I would pay to see that animation, but we're not going to see it. Speaking of going back, where's Tyrion going to run to?
Well,
I know because of that thing flew over.
Also, freaking Tyrion is just such a showman type of person with the way he talks. You know, like, God, I can't even talk right now.
Go ahead.
Just the way he talks to Crow, saying, you know, I am with the authorities.
He's a dinner and a show.
Dude, I hate you so much right now for what you caused me, but dang.
Yes, I have. And that is another thing where
hell yeah,
Crunchyroll did a thing once, and now everyone gets a fluster because they show a picture. Guys, this is a thing in wrestling terms called a work, where all they need to do now is present a little thing, and everyone goes nuts because it happened the one time. Just saying. Something could happen, but it also couldn't.
Oh, he does remind me of the Joker.
He does. He is very much the Joker of Remnant, but just enough to make him separate. This is really morbid. Tyrion could just run back to Mantle and go nuts. That's the closest civilization he's got.
Start poisoning people.
Just go nuts. Doesn't look too good for drunk glasses, just saying.
How nervous I was every time he pushed Crow with his tail.
I thought he was going to sting him. And also, did not think that Clover was going to bite it. I thought Crow was. I felt in that scene, one of them was going to get stabbed in the back, and I seriously thought it was going to be Crow. And then Clover was going to go back to Atlas and then beat with James within an inch of his life. That is what I thought was going to happen.
I can't handle if Crow died. And one of our lovely guests.
You're telling me I was sitting here with our Crow admin. Like Crow admin was in this chair watching the episode. I was waiting for him to explode.
I can't handle it. Summer guests can't handle it.
I'm in denial.
No, it's.
They work in
like
a bar
chocolate.
together now.
Yes,
I have a
they
real
do.
bad
They
feeling
do.
that before the show ends, I got a real bad feeling it's going to happen eventually because he has had a lot of close calls. A lot of close calls. I'm just saying. But so
Anyway, back to crackpot theories.
considering my rant at the beginning of this episode, I did not get to see a lot of episodes because fans can be really entitled and like to complain about things they shouldn't complain about. What about you guys? What did you all see?
I'm pretty sure it was Adam Salem from the page who brought up this idea, but I seeing it pop up on Tumblr later. I really like the idea of Neo just making herself look like Pierre to mess with the rest of Team Juniper, because I'm like, dang, yeah.
I see it happen. I really, really do.
I can see her doing that just to get a rise out of them. I'm like, dang.
Something from Pyrrha has popped up in every volume since volume 4.
That's exactly what I was going to say. We haven't gotten a Pyrrha thing necessarily just yet. And if that's what they do after that one tweet.
No.
For everyone who's wondering if they're forgetting the scroll in volume 4, the flashback in 5, her mother in volume
And the
6,
statue.
and the statue, and then we haven't gotten anything in 7 yet. I'm going to start crying. We should move on from that statue.
What's the? Oh yeah. I'm saying this one mainly because of the fair game shippers chat I'm in. We all have this very, very small hope that somehow Clover's gonna live. That's another crackpot.
I have seen some stupid stuff.
Like, we already kind of briefly mentioned the whole Raven's gonna pop up and somehow that's gonna save Clover.
Like, I saw a person. God bless them. God bless them. Was like, but guys, what if Penny finds him and jumpstarts his heart again? What about the giant hole in his chest?
The hole doesn't matter.
We're not Baymax here.
And then they're like, what if Oscar gets a semblance and turns time back? He's got a staff that has time in it. If he somehow has a time semblance, that's the definition of lazy writing.
So
Insert Deadpool scene here. It would be, and that's something Neo would do.
I can see Neo doing it. I think the craziest one is, again, with all the Winter Maiden stuff that's going to go on. The little chart is like just showing how this whole thing can go. Somehow, Winter's going to get in the pod. She's going to get the Maiden powers. Cinder's going to kill her, and she's going to be thinking about Weiss, and then Weiss becomes the Winter Maiden. That's probably like the craziest connections there. Or she's going to kill the old lady, and the old lady's powers go to Nora because she's thinking of her granddaughter, because that's theory hasn't died yet.
Well, I just had a thought, and this is not going to go anywhere.
Give it to us.
We've never in the show, lore or main episode wise, seen a person have 2 maiden powers. What if you just can't? And she literally has too much power, and she like.
Can she? Because I'm tired of her.
Please, I agree. Let's
that's an honest to God thought in my head now. We've never they've gone out of their way to show that 4 people need to have these things. What if they literally can't?
As I say, we don't really know what happens if that can even happen still. Cinder hasn't been successful in getting more maiden powers.
I'm gonna be thinking, oh, that's gonna bug me now. Oh no, what did I do?
That's gonna bug you, huh?
It's gonna bug all of us.
Because there's no way for me to prove or disprove
in
it.
The Nile.
I know. Oh, I hate being presented. Go ahead.
If we're gonna look at a death for next episode, I really do hope it's Cinder.
I do too.
Don't we all?
We've gone over it, and good God, am I sick of her? like she was a good character through volume 5. And then
I think she's outgrown her use. She just doesn't fit with.
Yeah.
she's literally living to be eventually killed by Ruby.
Or Salem. One of the two.
Or Salem, either way. I want it to be Ruby. I really, really do.
I kind of want it to be Salem, and I want her to use that same motherly tone she used on James last episode when she does it.
That would be kind of cool. If she does exactly what Cinder was going to do to Vernal, but to her.
Okay, yeah.
That's poetic. I'm a big fan of poetic justice. Big fan. I'm not saying that if randomly some character with a bow showed up in the show and shot Cinder through the chest, that I would be really happy.
It'll be Pyrrha.
I wish. What else? Any other crackpot theories that are going on here?
I think those are like the main crackpot theories I have outside of my constant one about the glasses drunk guy's just going to come in and save the day still.
Yeah. Do we think
happening, guys? Next episode, he's coming back.
Do we honestly think that Penny's going to die again?
Okay, I really don't think Penny's going to die. No. I think Penny is in a good state, personally, just from all her personal growth. Like in her whole finding humanity thing from hanging out with Winter and the whole talk that they had. I don't think she's going to die again.
Do you think Penny? No, that'd be stupid. I was going to say, do you think Penny could get them? But that wouldn't make any sense.
I kind of can see either Winter being the next death, as much as I don't want that either, but...
Okay, I'll destroy Family 101.
Yeah, I'll pose this question another way, or for a different answer. Do we think there's a way where this fight ends where no one gets the maiden powers and that part continues? Is there any way humanly possible, do you guys think?
I don't. I think we're going to get a good cliff. I mean, obviously, we're going to get a cliffhanger, and I think
the cliffhanger will be
the Winter Maiden.
Power.
I think somehow the Maiden's going to die, and we don't know who gets the powers.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm about to bring up something that if it has to happen, I really badly want to happen.
Okay, see, that's probably the only other death I can see.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot about Pietro and all my grief and sadness. Just like I forgot about Lee. Oh.
But, we have two elderly characters that are pretty defenseless, locked in a building with three, I'm including James in that, homicidal maniacs at the moment.
Correction. They're all stuck in there with Maria.
If I get to see Maria end somebody because she still has one of her sights, she still does. It's in her cane. I would be so happy.
That's my theory. Maria's just gonna stab Cinder.
She tomahawks it at the back of her head.
And Maria becomes a new Fall Maiden.
What would be the best part is if it doesn't even hurt her. She just chucks it and it cracks her in the back of the head and she goes, "Don't make me come over there," or something like that.
Okay, I can see that though. I can see Maria just throwing
just for them to get away, and then she just books it with like Ruby picks her up and they run off.
No, I
runs after them.
I have a Cinder fail 101. She gets killed by someone at random, and obviously the last person she thinks of is Ruby. So who gets the new fall powers?
Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be great.
I don't want that.
Slap in the face.
That
I
would
really
be
would hate for her to get powers too.
Like, I don't want her to be a maiden, but again, poetic justice of her being so pissed at Ruby that she gave her powers away to her. That's funny. In my opinion, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she would be thinking of Neo for sure.
And it's new. It's like, you don't want to get people to OP. That's one thing
the
that
idea is hilarious. It's just that's the only reason I don't like the idea.
That's one thing, again, I really respect before this volume. I shouldn't say that I don't disrespect it in this volume either. Trying to explain semblances to people is hard because, in my opinion, it's not like they're a mutant from X-Men. Because most mutants from X-Men, outside of like Cyclops or a couple of other people, don't have a thing. They have a thing. plus healing, plus laser blast, plus blah 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 blah.
That's why
They
I
have
tend to kind of compare it more to My Hero's quirks in a sense, because they also tie into the personality.
Yeah. They make them have a thing they can fight with and then make the most out of the thing. You don't have people that are god beings outside of like the most OP, honestly, from a practical sense, like Neo's is pretty up there. Weiss can summon things, that's pretty up there. Ravens for where she can use it, but even they limit it to where she can't just teleport all over the place. Marrow's pretty OP when he remembers that he has it.
I still say it's a focus-based thing because we've seen him being easily distracted in fights and just in general because he's so hyperactive.
But
as well as
like,
you've
the
seen it in
closest thing
like
they've
past
stopped-
volumes. Like last volume, we saw the
Yeah.
flashback of the Grim Reaper, and you know how TikTok, like her power only lasts for a certain amount of time.
For a minute, exactly. The closest one to where it started looking like X-Men powers to me was Vines. It was like, what? That was the first one where I was kind of like, that one's weird. But anyway, that's getting off the point. They try really hard to make people not OP unless you're a thing that is meant to be OP, like a maiden, where we were seeing all sorts of crap happening where they're just coming up with like Inuyasha size blades out of nothing and making them repeatedly and all this they could fly. We forget about that point that maidens were flying at one point. It's ridiculous. But yeah, is there anything else we need to talk about? We've gotten to the point of rambling, and I try to end it right when we start rambling.
I think we kind of fell off the actual volume, so I think we're good on this volume outside of that. I'm just dead inside.
That is a popular theory, Veronica. And the only way I would be okay with this happening is if the show ends, none of the girls are gone, and they are asked to take that responsibility to protect Remnant after they're done with what they just did.
Okay, if it's like that, then maybe I can like that idea.
That's about the only way.
I just don't like it for the fact that, again, Ruby's got one of the greatest powers in Remnant, her silver eyes.
She does, and she doesn't even have good control of it.
I was going to say, she still hasn't controlled that. So I don't want her to get these freaking maiden powers that she will have on top of the guys.
Yeah. Okay. God, I'm trying not to think they're getting really better at having these episodes be concise and to the point and not have little itty bitty blurbs like they used to in the first volumes. Then again, they had like 2-minute episodes in the first volume sometimes. But I think that's pretty much a bit of the crack thing, but John amplified. That is something me and our Crow admin have talked about quite a bit. That would be something. I still want
to see that happen.
That would be something.
I don't want to see that either.
But all right. I think we're going to end it there. I touched on this. I should not say touched on it. I beat the dead horse, revived it, beat it again, killed it, then beat it again. But I'm going to say just quickly, guys, everyone watching this, Rooster Teeth runs the show, decides what happens in the show, and what's canon in the show. You can come up with whatever you want, ship whatever you want, but do not scream at them because you didn't get your way. You're not writing it. Calm down. Summer, where can they reach you?
You can find me as Ray Beckett on Instagram and Facebook. And you can find me on Tumblr as Ray the Frenetic, where I've been posting a lot of ducks because I'm sad.
Raven, go ahead.
You can find me at Fiery Summers Cosplay on Instagram and Facebook, where you'll soon see a future Clover cosplay.
Nice.
Yay!
A friend of our channel that has been trying to get a shout out for quite a while, and I will shout him out because he does talk with us quite a bit on here.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. And one last comment, which I hope is true.
I hope it's not 30. I'll get a 25-minute lunch.
That's why I watch it after. Me, anything involved. You can find me at anything involved with Organoid Zero. anywhere on anything, including Instagram, but you're not going to find anything on it because the application sucks. But all right, we'll see you guys next week. I need to. You ain't going to be able to do that for much longer.
You bet.
Give her one more try.
But I can't say what. I want to do something special next week for the last episode, so we'll see, but I'm not going to.
It's a candle.
It's just a candle.
Oh, I was like, I don't know what you're doing. Okay, but I'll talk with my admins. I want to try and do something really special next week. That might be something more than just a review, so we'll see. But toodaloo!